Hi, everybody, and welcome to Bear Witch. First, I'd like to let everybody know I do have a new website, Bear Witch Project, and you can go there at bearwitch.com. You can also view the videos there, leave comments there. You can also email me directly at phil@bearwitch.com. So if you have any questions or comments, either way, I'll get them and I'll do my best to respond. Uh, Today, I'd like to speak about my escape from Newark, California. New life, bad choices. Basically, I just had to get away from my mom and the Catholic influence in that town, and of course, my mom's pressure of Catholicism, which she forced me to go through school and church and the whole bit. Had no choice in the matter. Um, when I did graduate from Newark High School, seemed all my friends had some focus on where they were going, what they were doing. They were going to college, universities, various things. Myself, we didn't have money to send me to college. I was just short of a grade for getting a scholarship, so I had to look somewhere else. I really felt the need to break away from mom and Newark in general, which a lot of us kids did, even though I loved Newark, but there's a new world out there somewhere. So first, looking for work, didn't seem to find much, fresh out of high school. Uh, I did have some friends that came up to me and they said there's this new company that's hiring people right and left, and they were getting hired and said I should go there. It was in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I based my decision not to apply because of the company name. And I could kick myself right now. I just could not work for a company with the stupid name of Apple. That's right. I would have been kind of on the ground floor of Apple when they were starting up, so my life would have been totally different. But yeah, maybe bad choice, maybe good choice, don't know. Instead, what I decided to do, my parents had a mobile home at Clear Lake, California, and they would use that. We'd use it for weekends or holidays, that type of thing. Um, I asked my mom and dad if I could move up there, get a job, and I thought that was 3 hours away from Newark, basically. So I thought it was a good enough distance to start a life. Of course, they said yes, so I went ahead and moved into the mobile. And I got a job at Canocti Harbor Inn, which is about the biggest hotel on the lake. Not a great place to work there or work for. I did work there for, God, 7 years. Very, very low wages. I think my ending salary was something like $3.35 an hour, and that's after 7 years. So they really didn't pay well. Um, but while working there, I did make some friends. Again, I'm questioning my sexuality. Um, I just basically was trying to find more information, yet fight the same sex urges that I had. I was obsessed with men. If I had a chance at seeing a naked guy, I'd go for it, to be honest. And working at the hotel kind of enlightened me in some respect. Of course, there was several gay people that worked there. What I noticed about it was the abuse that they took. Always, there was one guy who was the dining room manager, really nice guy, very effeminate, very kind of flamboyant, great at his job. And he would deal with the public directly regarding banquets and things. And I have witnessed several times where people, just called him faggot, yelled at him. I was working the front desk, and it was kind of interesting. This one man just was going ballistic, and I needed a manager. So I called the banquet manager. He was the only one available. And basically, he said to my friend, he says, "You're a little fucking faggot." And he took the desk bell and he threw it at both of us. And I went off, and I had enough. I went off to the switchboard and PBX room, and I decided to call the security. And after I did, I went back to the front desk. I didn't want to leave him all alone there with this customer. And he looks at me, he says, "Oh, are you a little fucking faggot like him?" And I just looked at him, I says, "Well, no, sir, I just called security and the police," which I did, and the guy took off. But that's the type of thing that I saw and attributed to homosexuality. It's something you don't aspire to be. And I really was trying to fight a lot of urges and feelings. And, again, society just, gay people were something to look at, basically, or talk about. But you couldn't see that anybody really had lives. And I knew a lot of the people I worked with were gay, and I tried to be around them. I enjoyed being around them. In fact, one day, it was kind of interesting. After work, we'd all go to a bar. And sitting at the bar with a lot of the cooks and things from the hotel. And they were going to be having a party. And they wanted me to come, said, "Oh, we're just going to have a party, and just come on over to our house here." And I was thinking, okay, well, why not? And the bartender comes over and he says, "Well, he says, yeah, you should go." He says, "We're all family, aren't we?" Okay, well, I had no clue what that meant. Again, being brought up in Newark and, surrounded by Catholic and no knowledge coming in. And I looked at him and said, "Oh, are we related?" And he just looked at me strangely and he says, "Well, you're obviously not family. You don't know what that means." And I said, "Well, what does it mean?" He says, "Well, if you don't know, you don't need to know. And I wouldn't go to this party." Well, it turns out I didn't go. And what the party actually was a gay sex party. And I was thinking, had I gone, that might have been the trigger right then to just really, you know, put questions to end and actually give me some idea of, what it was like and where to go from there. But of course, I didn't go. So I consider that kind of a bad choice in my life. Um, Unfortunately, living in Clear Lake, my parents decided they wanted to retire and move up to Clear Lake. So there we are, back with the parents in Clear Lake. Sister moves up with brother-in-law. It's like everybody moved up. So what I left in the San Francisco Bay Area suddenly is surrounding me again in Clear Lake. Finally moved on from Canocti Harbor Inn and got a job for Blue Shield of California. Still very questioning my sexuality. I haven't done anything about it yet. I mean, when I was a kid, a teenager in school, yeah, I played with guys. It was more like exploration and, basically mutual masturbation, that type of thing, but nothing full on. I knew I liked it, but I also, in my mind, was saying that it was really wrong and uh, I shouldn't be doing it. So now I move on to Blue Shield of California, and there was one gay guy in the whole office. We were two men, there was actually three men working in an office of women, and it was over 100 women. So much, it was just really kind of a unique situation. But the one gay man that was there, very flamboyant, very high-pitched voice, great customer service agent. And, people acted like they befriended him, like they got along with him. And when he'd leave the room, it was faggot this and fudge packer and, just all this abuse. And again, so I'm thinking, okay, I'm having the same feelings as this guy, but do I want the abuse? And I'm not realizing that it's not a choice to be gay. At that point, I probably thought it was. And so that just really was like, no, no, I don't want that. So, I witnessed his abuse. He got actually attacked by one of the other guys that worked there. There was three of us. So if he's watching, he knows who he is. But he got beat up in the lunchroom. Again, because he was gay, saying, why should I have to put up listening to your high voice? Excuse me. So I'm just learning, oh, it's not good to be gay. So anyway, I still worked there. It was a good job and a very time involved job, which was good because I didn't have a lot of free time. I did find myself being more drawn to um, naked men, like in Playgirl magazine, let's say. We didn't have the internet, at that point where it was full on in the house. I didn't have a computer anyway. And so I went and I would buy a Playboy magazine and also pick up a Playgirl. When I pay for it, at the liquor store, I'd say, oh, yeah, she wants this. I was acting like I was married or had a girlfriend. And what I do when I went home, I'd throw the Playboy in the bin and I'd read the Playgirl, look at all the pictures. And I had stacks and stacks and stacks of them. So that was my way of kind of getting something I needed, but of course, lying about why I needed it. And I also lived with, again, my parents lived there, and I had moved out, of course. And mom was always, when are you going to meet a nice Catholic girl and settle down? When are you going to give me grandchildren? And there's just this great pressure. I was the only one who wasn't married, of my siblings. Two of my siblings had kids, one of them that never did. But it was just like every time I saw my mother, and I was a mama's boy. I talked to her daily. And I, I didn't know what to do at this point. I mean, confusion just overwhelmed me. So basically, I thought, well, I need to kind of cure this sickness that I have, and that's what I attributed to was it's a sickness. So we didn't have the internet. We had dating by mail, by snail mail, and I met this girl just through you pick a number and she writes you, and we wrote back and forth. She was from Bakersfield, California, and totally different life out there from what I was used to. She ended up deciding she wanted to move in with me. Never met, spoke on the phone, and she did. She moved up. The first night we were together, we went to bed and she got naked and I said goodnight, rolled over and went to sleep. And, she kept flaunting her body in front of me all the time. And it just honestly did nothing for me at all. I was hoping for an urge or, uh, something, to number one, lose my virginity because I was still a virgin basically. And one day she looked at me, she says, are you sure you're not gay? And I again said, no, no, I'm not gay. And she's like, well, why don't you touch me? And I just went, well, I was being polite. She says, well, I'm out of here. And she left. Well, fine. I was kind of happy about that. But that was my first attempt, living with a woman. Excuse me. So I did my best, really trying to sort out these feelings, and uh, I just knew I didn't want the same-sex feelings. I didn't want to be, as one of my family members put it, one of the sick, evil, twisted bastards, meaning the gay people. And so, again, that's my family life. That's what I was told they were. Um, I buried all my feelings, but they're starting to crop up, and it's just exhausting trying to beat these feelings down, and go on with your life and try to be happy and please mom and please everybody. But I wasn't being pleased. That is when I had my first real suicidal thought. I really just felt I couldn't go on with life, and that something was really evil and really wrong with me. Um, I basically was collecting pills, just anything I could find. Tell my mother I, have a pain or something, and she'd give me like a codeine or something she had, and I'd collect these. And it actually went on for about 3 months. And I finally had a collection of pills from friends at work, anywhere I could get them. Um, and I thought if I took them all, I could just end this. Put them out on the table and had water there. I even wrote a suicide note and basically saying, I can't live up to your expectations of my parents or of this life. And I'm just an evil, twisted bastard. But something stopped me. Something from deep inside stopped me. And I decided, no, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to cure my sickness myself. I'm going to overcome this. And basically, I threw the pills down the toilet and decided to move on with things a bit. Again, right back to what mom wants. I started looking for a girlfriend where I lived in Clear Lake. And that's what my next video will be about. I think getting past the suicide bit now and then moving on. So my marriage to a woman, how we met, that's what the next video will be on. Um, this was kind of intense today, but I hope maybe somebody learned something about me. And again, if you have comments, please go to bearwitch.com, to the website, leave comments, or write me at phil@gaywitch.com. And I'll see you next time. And thank you for watching.